Commander Lisa Morgan stood at the large window of the New Horizon and watched the stars drift by slowly. The ship moved through space toward a meeting that would change everything for Earth. She had spent 20 years in the military before, becoming a diplomat. Now she led the most important mission in human history. The year was 2387, and Earth had finally achieved peace. No more wars between countries. No more fighting over resources. The Global Peace Council ruled from New Geneva and made sure everyone worked together. Humans had learned to share and care for their planet. They had clean energy and enough food for everyone. Cities were green and beautiful. The air was pure again. Dr. Amy Foster walked up beside Lisa and looked out at the same stars. Amy was the smartest person Lisa knew when it came to alien life. She could learn any language and understand any culture. Amy had been studying the signals from space for 10 years before first contact happened. "Are you ready for this?" Amy asked. Lisa nodded but felt nervous. "Earth wants peace with everyone we meet, but I wonder if they want the same thing." 3 months ago, everything changed. Earth received the first message from another world. Not just one message, but two. Two different alien races had found Earth at almost the same time. The first message came from beings who called themselves the Sylvani. They lived on forest worlds and seemed wise and peaceful. The second message came from the Zephyrian Empire. They claimed to rule many worlds and wanted to meet Earth's leaders. The Global Peace Council decided to send the New Horizon with Earth's best diplomats. Lisa led the team. Amy would handle translations and cultural matters. Captain Kelly Barnes commanded the ship. They also brought gifts and examples of Earth's technology to share. The ship carried no weapons. Earth had decided that weapons sent the wrong message. They wanted to show that humans came in peace. The New Horizon had strong shields and fast engines, but nothing that could hurt anyone. Kelly Barnes came to join them at the window. She was younger than Lisa, but had proven herself as an excellent pilot and leader. Kelly had grown up in the peaceful Earth, and sometimes Lisa wondered if she understood how dangerous the universe might be. "We should reach the meeting point in 2 hours, Kelly said. "Both alien ships are already waiting for us." Lisa felt excited and worried at the same time. The meeting point was empty space between 3 star systems, neutral ground where all 3 races could meet safely. At least that was the plan. Amy checked her tablet computer. "I have been studying their languages more. The Sylvani speak in poetry and use many words about nature. They seem to think deeply before they speak. The Zephyrians use short commands and talk about strength and territory a lot. That tells us something about both races," Lisa said. The ship's communication system made a soft sound. A voice came through, speaking slowly and carefully. The words sounded musical and strange, but Amy's computer translated them into English. "Greetings to the humans of Earth. I am Arya Moonwhisper of the Sylvani people. We have watched your world from far away for many years. We see that you have learned to care for your planet and each other. This gives us hope. We wish to speak with you about friendship between our peoples." Lisa smiled. The message sounded genuine and kind. She picked up the communication device to reply. "Greetings, Arya Moonwhisper. I am Commander Lisa Morgan representing Earth. We are honored to meet you and your people. We come seeking friendship and knowledge. We hope to learn from each other." Amy worked quickly on her computer. "The Sylvani ship is beautiful," she said, looking at the scanner readings. "It seems to be grown rather than built, like a living tree that can fly through space." A few minutes later, another message came through. This one sounded very different. The voice was strong and commanding. "Human vessel, this is General Vexara of the Zephyrian Empire. You will prepare for inspection. We must determine if your species is worthy of joining our empire. Lower your shields and prepare for boarding." Lisa and Kelly looked at each other with concern. This was not how Earth had hoped the meeting would begin. "General Vexara," Lisa replied carefully, "we come as representatives of a free world seeking peaceful contact. We propose that we meet as equals to discuss mutual benefits for our peoples." The response came back quickly and sounded angry. "You mistake our purpose, humans. The Zephyrian Empire does not negotiate with inferior species. You will submit to inspection or face the consequences." Amy looked worried as she studied the scanner readings. "The Zephyrian ship is huge and covered with weapons. It could destroy us easily if they wanted to. Kelly kept her voice calm, but Lisa could see the concern in her eyes. Should we retreat? We could go back to Earth and report what we learned. Lisa thought about Earth's hopes for peace and friendship among the stars. She thought about all the work her people had done to create a better world. She could not give up so easily. We stay and try to make this work, she said. Maybe the Zephyrians just need to understand that we come in peace. Some cultures use strong words but can still be reasoned with. The Sylvani ship moved closer to the new horizon. It did look like a giant tree with silver bark and branches that seemed to pulse with soft light. Amy's computers detected no weapons, but the ship itself seemed to be alive somehow. Arya Moonwhisper sent another message. Commander, Morgan, we sense tension in this meeting. The Zephyrians are not known for peaceful ways. We offer to stand with Earth if you need friends. Before Lisa could reply, the Zephyrian ship moved toward them. It was dark metal and sharp angles, weapons pointed in every direction. The ship was 3 times larger than the New Horizon and looked like it was built only for war. All ships will. Maintain position, General Vexara commanded. The inspection will begin now. Any attempt to flee will be considered an act of aggression. Lisa realized that Earth's peaceful intentions might not be enough. The universe had different ideas about how first contact should work. She hoped that diplomacy could still save the day, but she was beginning to understand that some beings did not want peace. They wanted something else entirely. The meeting room on the New Horizon felt tense as representatives from all 3 worlds gathered. Lisa sat across from General Vexara, who was even more intimidating in person. The Zephyrian stood nearly 8 feet tall with gray skin and sharp features. Her uniform was black metal and she carried weapons that looked deadly. Her eyes showed no warmth or friendship. Arya Moonwhisper sat between them and seemed to glow with a soft inner light. She looked human but more graceful with pointed ears and silver hair. Her clothes appeared to be made from living plants that moved slightly as she breathed. She spoke in the musical voice that made even simple words sound like poetry. We 3 peoples have much to learn from each other, Arya said softly. The Sylvani have watched both your races grow and change. Humans show great promise in healing their world. Zephyrians show great strength in ruling the stars. General Vexara made a harsh sound that might have been laughter. The Sylvani speak of healing and growing like children playing in gardens. The universe belongs to the strong. Weak species exist only to serve their betters. Lisa kept her voice calm but firm. Earth believes that strength comes from cooperation. We have achieved more through working together than we ever did through fighting each other. Your world is soft, Vexara replied. You have no real military, no conquered territories. How can you claim to be strong when you cannot even defend yourselves? Amy Foster worked quietly at her computer station recording everything. She had been studying both alien languages and cultures during the journey. What she learned about the Zephyrians worried her more each day. Lieutenant Maya Rodriguez sat at the tactical station monitoring both alien ships. She was young but sharp and had trained in military intelligence before Earth chose the path of peace. Maya noticed things that others missed, and right now she was noticing some very troubling patterns. Maya leaned over to whisper to Amy. The Zephyrian communications are strange. They keep sending coded messages to other ships outside our sensor range. Why would they need backup for a peaceful meeting? Amy checked her translation programs. I have been analyzing their language patterns. When they talk to us, they use diplomatic words, but their private communications use military terms. Words, like attack, conquest, and elimination. While the others talked, Stella Nightbreeze moved silently through the shadows of the ship. She was Arya's companion and bodyguard, though few would guess it by looking at her. Stella appeared young and delicate, but she moved like a ghost and saw things that others could not see. She had volunteered to scout the Zephyrian ship while the talks continued. Earth has much to offer, Lisa continued the discussion. Our farming techniques could feed worlds. Our medical advances could heal diseases. Our environmental restoration could bring dead planets back to life. And what do you offer the Zephyrian Empire? Vexara asked with a cold smile. Friendship, knowledge, trade that benefits everyone. We do not need friends. We take what we require from those too weak to stop us. Your offer is worthless. Arya spoke up gently. General Vexara, surely even the mighty Zephyrian Empire could benefit from new ideas and technologies. The humans have achieved remarkable things. The Silvani should concern themselves with their own fate, Vexara said with menace in her voice. Your forest worlds would make excellent agricultural colonies for our empire. Your people could serve as workers if they prove useful. The threat was clear, and Lisa felt anger rising in her chest. Earth had sent her to make peace, but Vexara seemed only interested in conquest and slavery. Captain Kelly Barnes received a quiet signal in her earpiece. Stella Nightbreeze was reporting back from her scouting mission. What she had discovered made Kelly's blood run cold. Kelly stood up carefully. Commander Morgan, we are receiving an urgent message from Earth. Perhaps we should take a short break. Lisa understood that Kelly was giving her an excuse to leave. Of course. General Vexara, Arya Moonwhisper, perhaps we could resume our talks in 1 hour? Vexara nodded. Do not take too long. The Zephyrian Empire does not wait for anyone. In the ship's private briefing room, Stella Nightbreeze shared what she had learned. Her voice was soft, but her words chilled everyone who heard them. The Zephyrian ship carries weapons designed to destroy planets, she whispered. I saw targeting computers with the locations of Earth and all major Silvani worlds. They have detailed invasion plans and troop transport schedules. This is not a diplomatic mission. It is preparation for war. Maya pulled up her tactical analysis on the main screen. I have been tracking ship movements across this entire sector. The Zephyrians have been positioning fleets near every world they want to attack. They are using these peace talks to get our guard down. Amy's face was pale as she read through more intercepted communications. They plan to strike all targets at the same time. Earth, the Silvani homeworld, our colonies, everything. They want to crush any resistance before it can organize. Lisa felt the weight of Earth's peaceful hopes crashing down around her. How long do we have? Based on their communications, the attack begins in 6 days, Maya replied. The talks were meant to last a week to give their fleets time to get into position. Arya closed her eyes and seemed to be listening to something far away. I have contacted my people through our life bonds. The Silvani Council of Elders confirms what you have discovered. Zephyrian ships surround our worlds. We have been blind to the danger because we wanted to believe in peace. Kelly checked the ship's systems. We need to warn Earth immediately. If we can send a message now, our people might have time to prepare defenses. The Zephyrians are jamming our long-range communications, Maya reported. We can only send messages when we are much closer to Earth. Stella Nightbreeze stepped forward. There is another problem. General Vexara plans to capture this ship and everyone on it. She wants to study human technology and interrogate our crew. She sees this ship as the perfect way to test Earth's defenses. Lisa realized that Earth's peaceful intentions had walked straight into a trap. The Zephyrians had never wanted peace. They wanted easy conquest, and they saw diplomacy as just another weapon to use against their enemies. We have to get home and warn our people, Lisa said firmly. Even if the Zephyrians attack, Earth and the Silvani might survive if they have time to prepare. Arya stood gracefully. The Silvani will stand with Earth. We have ancient defenses that even the Zephyrians do not know about. Together we might have a chance. The question is, how do we escape without making them suspicious? Kelly said. If they know we discovered their plans, they might attack early. Maya studied the tactical displays. We need to make them think everything is going according to their plan. Let them believe they have fooled us completely. Lisa looked around, at her team and their new Silvani allies. Earth had chosen peace, but the enemy had chosen war. Now they would have to find a way to defend peace with strength they had hoped never to need again. The next hour would determine whether their peoples lived free or died as slaves to the Zephyrian Empire. The diplomatic talks resumed, but everything had changed. Lisa sat across from General Vexara and pretended to negotiate while knowing that every word was a lie. The Zephyrian general smiled coldly as she made demands that Earth could never accept. The Zephyrian Empire requires tribute from all member worlds, Vexara said. Earth will provide food, minerals, and workers. In return, we will protect you from other threats. Lisa nodded as if considering the offer. What kind of protection would the Empire provide? Protection from those who would destroy you completely, Vexara replied with dark amusement. There are many dangerous species in the galaxy. Only the Empire stands between civilization and chaos. Arya Moonwhisper sat quietly, but Lisa could see the tension in her graceful features. The Sylvani knew they were listening to threats disguised as offers. Captain Kelly Barnes received a silent signal from Maya Rodriguez at the tactical station. The young officer had been monitoring Zephyrian communications, and the news was worse than they had feared. During a brief break, the human and Sylvani teams gathered in the ship's secured briefing room. Maya's face was grim as she shared her latest intelligence. The Zephyrian attack fleets have moved into final position, Maya reported. They plan to strike Earth and the Sylvani homeworld in exactly 4 days. But there is something else. They are not planning to capture our worlds. They intend to destroy them completely. Amy Foster looked up from her computer with horror. I intercepted new orders from the Zephyrian High Command. They consider both our species too dangerous to be allowed to survive. They plan to eliminate every human and Sylvani in the galaxy. Stella Nightbreeze had been moving like a shadow through the Zephyrian ship during the talks. What she discovered made the situation even more desperate. Their ship carries weapons that can crack planets apart, she whispered. I saw the targeting computers. They have identified every major population center on Earth. They plan to shatter your world into pieces and watch your people die in space, Lisa felt sick as she realized the scope of the Zephyrian plan. This was not conquest. This was genocide. We have to escape and warn our people, Kelly said firmly. Earth needs time to evacuate the cities or prepare defenses. The Zephyrians will not let us leave, Arya said sadly. General Vexara plans to capture this ship once the talks end. She wants to study our technology and torture our crews for information about our defenses. Maya checked her tactical displays. Even if we could escape, we cannot outrun their fleet. They have faster ships and more firepower than anything Earth has ever built. The weight of failure pressed down on Lisa's shoulders. Earth had sent her to make peace, and instead she had led her people into a trap. The Zephyrians had used Earth's peaceful nature against them. Suddenly, alarms began ringing throughout the New Horizon. Kelly rushed to the bridge while the others followed close behind. The main screen showed dozens of Zephyrian warships dropping out of hyperspace around them. So much for 4 more days, Maya said grimly. General Vexara appeared on the communication screen with a triumphant smile. Humans and Sylvani, your usefulness as negotiators has ended. Surrender your ships immediately, or we will destroy you. Lisa stepped forward. General, we came here in good faith, seeking peace. Why has that changed? Because the charade is no longer necessary, Vexara replied coldly. Our fleets are in position around your pathetic worlds. Your peoples will be extinct. Within hours, we kept you alive only to witness the destruction of everything you love. On the tactical display, Maya watched in horror as red symbols appeared throughout human and Sylvani space. The Zephyrian invasion had begun early. Multiple fleets attacking Earth's colonies, Maya reported with a shaking voice. The farming world of New Eden is under assault. The research station at Alpha Centauri is not responding. Oh no, they are hitting Earth's moon base. Arya closed her eyes and her face went pale. I feel my people crying out across the stars. The forest world of Silverleaf is burning. The ancient groves are being destroyed. The communication screen flickered, and Admiral Grace Turner appeared from Earth Defense Headquarters. The older woman looked tired but determined. Behind her, Lisa could see emergency lights flashing and officers running between stations. Lisa, thank goodness you are alive, Admiral Turner said quickly. The Zephyrians attacked without warning. We are fighting back, but we were not prepared for this scale of assault. Our peaceful fleet is no match for their war machines. Admiral, you have to evacuate the cities, Lisa said urgently. They plan to crack the planet apart. We are trying, but there is not enough time. Too many people and not enough ships. We need a miracle. Dr. Nina Walsh appeared beside Admiral Turner. The weapons engineer looked frustrated and angry. I spent 20 years designing farming equipment and medical devices. Now I'm trying to turn tractors into tanks and hospital beds into bunkers. We should have kept some real weapons. The screen filled with static as another Zephyrian ship moved between them and Earth. General Vexara reappeared with satisfaction in her cold eyes. Watch your worlds burn, weaklings. This is what happens to species that choose peace over strength. Suddenly, Luna Starweaver materialized on the bridge of the New Horizon. The Sylvani war mage had somehow transported herself across space using abilities that seemed impossible. She was tall and fierce with silver eyes that blazed with inner fire. "The time for hiding is over," Luna announced in a voice like thunder. "The Sylvani have kept our true nature secret for too long. General Vexara, you have made a terrible mistake." Vexara laughed harshly. "One Sylvani mystic will not save your people, tree lover." Luna raised her hands, and the New Horizon was suddenly surrounded by a shimmering energy field. The Zephyrian. Weapons fired, but their shots bounced harmlessly away. "The Sylvani are not just gardeners and poets," Luna said with a dangerous smile. "We are the guardians of life itself. Our magic is biotechnology beyond your understanding. Our trees are weapons. Our forests are fortresses, and now we are very, very angry." Across the galaxy, the Sylvani worlds began to fight back. Ancient grove ships rose from forest floors where they had hidden for centuries. Biomechanical weapons that looked like living vines reached out to crush Zephyrian vessels. Planetary defense systems that had seemed like harmless plants revealed their true deadly nature. On Earth, Admiral Turner watched in amazement as her peaceful world began to transform. Dr. Nina Walsh worked frantically to convert civilian technology into military hardware. Captain Rebecca Stone emerged from retirement to lead Special Forces operations that most people thought had been disbanded years ago. "We chose peace, Admiral," Turner said grimly as she watched Earth's hidden defenses activate. "But we never forgot how to fight." The war had begun, and the galaxy would never be the same. The Zephyrians had expected easy conquest, but they had awakened something they did not understand. Humanity and the Sylvani were about to show them what happened when peaceful people were forced to defend their homes. 3 weeks into the war, the galaxy burned with conflict unlike anything the Zephyrians had expected. Their easy conquest had turned into a nightmare of resistance that grew stronger every day. Colonel Rebecca Stone crouched in the ruins of New Eden Colony and watched Zephyrian patrol ships fly overhead. The farming world had been one of the first targets, but the enemy had not been able to hold it. Rebecca's Special Forces team had been fighting a guerrilla war that was slowly driving. "The invader's crazy. Chief Engineer Samantha Lee, are you ready with the surprise?" Rebecca whispered into her communication device. "Ready and waiting," came the reply from across the devastated city. These farming robots were not designed for war, but they learn fast. Samantha had spent 3 weeks converting peaceful agricultural machines into deadly weapons. Crop harvesting, robots now carried weapons made from mining lasers. Irrigation systems had become booby traps that could flood entire city blocks. Even the greenhouse domes had been turned into fortress shields. The Zephyrian patrol landed near what looked like an abandoned farm building. 6 soldiers in power armor stepped out with their weapons ready. They had learned to be careful on human worlds, where everything could be a trap. "Sector 12 appears clear," the patrol leader reported. "No sign of human resistance." That was when the wheat field came alive. Samantha's modified farming robots rose from underground hiding places like mechanical flowers blooming in reverse. Their harvesting arms now carried plasma cutters that could slice through Zephyrian armor like paper. "Now, Rebecca," Samantha called out. Colonel Stone's team attacked from 3 directions at once. They moved with the speed and coordination that came from decades of military training that Earth had supposedly abandoned. The Zephyrian patrol was surrounded and destroyed before they could call for help. Meanwhile, in space, Luna Starweaver stood on the bridge of a Sylvani grove ship that looked like a flying forest. The biomechanical vessel pulsed with life as it engaged 3 Zephyrian warships at once. Vera Stormleaf fought beside her using combat techniques that combined ancient Sylvani warrior arts with human tactical innovations. "The enemy formation is breaking," Vera reported, as she guided living weapons that struck like lightning bolts made of pure energy. "They cannot understand how we fight together." Luna smiled as she watched human and Sylvani forces coordinate their attacks across the battlefield. The Zephyrians fight like machines, predictable and rigid, but life adapts and grows stronger. Vera had spent weeks training with human special forces and learning their methods. She discovered that humans approached warfare with creativity and adaptability that no other species could match. When combined with Sylvani biotechnology and ancient wisdom, the result was devastating to enemies who expected simple conquest. On Earth, Admiral Grace Turner coordinated the defense from a command center that had been built inside a mountain. The planet's peaceful surface hid military installations that most Earth citizens had never known existed. Dr. Nina Walsh, what is the status of the hybrid weapons project? Admiral Turner asked. Nina looked up from her workstation with excitement in her eyes. Better than we hoped. Human engineering combined with Sylvani biotechnology is producing results that neither of us could achieve alone. We have created weapons that grow stronger the more they are used. The hybrid weapons were unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. Human technology provided precision and power, while Sylvani biotechnology added adaptability and intelligence. The weapons learned from each battle and evolved to become more effective against Zephyrian defenses. The colony defense at Alpha Centauri is holding, reported Lieutenant Maya Rodriguez from her tactical station. The civilians have been evacuated, but our forces are dug in deep. The Zephyrians cannot break through without destroying the entire planet. Admiral Turner nodded grimly. They might do exactly that. General Vexara seems to prefer destruction over difficult conquest. The communications system activated, and Commander Lisa Morgan appeared on the main screen. She was broadcasting from the captured Zephyrian ship, where she had been leading covert operations behind enemy lines. Admiral, we have discovered something important about Zephyrian strategy, Lisa reported. They are not just trying to conquer our worlds. They are testing us to see how we fight. This entire war is preparation for something bigger. What do you mean? Admiral Turner asked with concern. Amy Foster appeared beside Lisa on the screen. The linguist had been studying captured Zephyrian communications. They keep referring to something called the Great Harvest. According to their records, the Zephyrians are part of a much larger empire that spans thousands of worlds. This invasion is just the beginning. The news sent chills through the Earth Defense Command Center. If the current Zephyrian forces were only a small part of their true military might, the war was far from over. There is more, Lisa continued. We found records of other species that fought the Zephyrians. Most were destroyed completely, but a few managed to slow down the invasion long enough to evacuate their populations. The Zephyrians seem surprised that we are actually winning battles. Aria Moonwhisper joined the transmission from the Sylvanii homeworld. Behind her, the forest cities glowed with defensive energy that looked like aurora dancing through the trees. The Sylvani Council of Elders has made a decision, Aria announced. We are sharing our deepest secrets with humanity, technologies and abilities that we have hidden for centuries. Together, we must become strong enough to face whatever comes after this invasion. Admiral Turner felt hope rising in her chest. What kind of secrets? Luna Starweaver appeared on another part of the screen. The ability to grow starships from living trees, weapons that feed on enemy energy and turn it against them, defensive systems that can hide entire planets from detection, and most importantly, the knowledge of how to fight as one people instead of two separate species. General Vexara had been monitoring the transmissions from her command ship. She watched the human and Sylvani forces coordinate their defense with growing frustration and anger. These species adapt too quickly, she told her tactical officers. Each defeat makes them stronger instead of weaker. This is not how conquest is supposed to work. Perhaps we should request reinforcements from the main fleet, suggested one of her advisors. Vexara's eyes blazed with fury. No, I will not admit failure to the High Command. We will break these pathetic tree lovers and dirt farmers if we have to shatter every world they inhabit. She activated the ship's communication system and sent a message to all Zephyrian forces in the sector. All units, prepare for total warfare. No more attempts at occupation. Destroy everything. Leave nothing alive. The war was about to become much more desperate, but humanity and the Sylvani had learned something about themselves in these weeks of fighting. They were stronger together than they had ever been apart, and they were about to show the Zephyrian Empire what happened when peaceful peoples decided that some things were worth fighting for with everything they had. The final battle began at dawn over the shattered remains of what had once been a peaceful galaxy. General Vexara commanded the largest Zephyrian fleet ever assembled, while Admiral Grace Turner and Elder Wisdom of Ancient Oaks led the combined forces of humanity, and the Sylvani. Commander Lisa Morgan stood on the bridge of a hybrid warship that was part human technology and part living Sylvani bioship. The vessel grew and adapted during combat while maintaining the precision that human engineering demanded. It was a perfect symbol of what the two species had become together. Dr. Rachel Kim, what is the status of the weapon? Lisa asked the scientist who had been working on humanity's most desperate project. Rachel looked up from her computer with exhaustion and determination in her eyes. The planetary restoration device is ready, but using it will drain power from every ship in our fleet. We will be defenseless for at least 10 minutes while it charges and fires. President Claire Anderson appeared on the communication screen from Earth's Emergency Command Center. The weight of making an impossible decision showed clearly on her face. Commander Morgan, the Zephyrian fleet is moving toward Earth. If we use the weapon now, we might save their homeworld, but lose our own. If we wait to defend Earth, millions of Zephyrian civilians will die when their planet completes its environmental collapse. The choice that faced humanity was one that would define them forever. Dr. Rachel Kim had discovered that the Zephyrian aggression came from desperation. Their homeworld was dying from centuries of strip mining and industrial pollution. The Empire's endless conquest was driven by the need to find new worlds for their people to inhabit. Elder wisdom of ancient oaks spoke in her voice that sounded like wind through forest leaves. The Sylvani offer our greatest biotechnology to heal the Zephyrian world. Our life-giving systems can restore any planet no matter how damaged, but we must have peace to make this work. General Vexara's response came through harsh static. The Zephyrian Empire does not accept charity from inferior species. We take what we need through strength and conquest. Your offer is rejected. Then, you will watch your people die for your pride, Lisa replied sadly. The space battle that followed was unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. Zephyrian warships attacked with desperate fury while human and Sylvani forces fought with the coordination that came from true partnership. Rebecca Stone led boarding parties that captured enemy vessels from the inside. Samantha Lee's hybrid weapons adapted to every Zephyrian defense. Vera Stormleaf and Luna Starweaver combined their biomagical abilities with human tactical thinking to devastating effect, but the Zephyrians had the advantage of numbers and their ships were built only for destruction. Admiral Turner watched her forces slowly being overwhelmed despite their superior tactics and technology. We cannot win through fighting alone, she realized. We need to end this war another way. Aria Moonwhisper and Amy Foster had been working together on a secret project throughout the battle. They had learned to translate not just Zephyrian words, but Zephyrian emotions and motivations. We can reach the Zephyrian soldiers directly, Amy announced. Bypass their command structure and speak to the people who are actually doing the fighting. Most of them do not want this war, Aria added. They fight because they believe it is the only way to save their families. If we show them another path, some might choose it. Lisa made a decision that would have been impossible for a military commander, but came naturally to a diplomat. Open channels to every Zephyrian ship in the fleet, all of them. The transmission reached thousands of Zephyrian soldiers and ship crews across the battlefield. Lisa's voice was calm and clear as she spoke directly to enemy warriors who had been taught that humans were weak and cowardly. Soldiers of the Zephyrian Empire, I am Commander Lisa Morgan of Earth. We know that your homeworld is dying. We know that you fight to save your people from extinction. We offer you another choice. The fighting slowed as Zephyrian crews listened to words they had never expected to hear. The Sylvani have technology that can restore any world to full life. Green forests, clean air, pure water, fertile soil. Your children could grow up on a healthy planet instead of a dying one. All we ask in return is peace. General Vexara's furious voice cut through the transmission. Do not listen to their lies. The Empire takes what it needs. We do not beg for scraps from tree worshippers and dirt farmers. But doubt had been planted in thousands of Zephyrian minds. Captain Thel Sarah of the warship Dark Thunder was the first to make the choice that would change everything. General Vexara, this is Captain Thel Sarah. My ship is standing down. I have children on the homeworld and they deserve better than endless war. One by one, other Zephyrian ships began to stop fighting. Not all of them, but enough to tip the balance of the battle. General Vexara watched her fleet fragmenting, and her rage became murderous. All loyal ships, target the deserters first. Destroy any vessel that shows weakness. The Zephyrian fleet began fighting itself as ships chose between conquest and survival. In the chaos, Luna Starweaver led a strike team directly at Vexara's command ship. "The General is the key," Luna announced, as her bioship phased through enemy shields using Sylvani abilities that seemed like magic. "Remove her and the fleet. We'll listen to reason." The assault on Vexara's ship was led by the most unlikely team imaginable. Rebecca Stone's human special forces worked alongside Vera Stormleaf's Sylvani warriors, while Samantha Lee's hybrid weapons provided support. They fought through corridors that had been designed to repel boarding actions, but human adaptability, combined with Sylvani biotechnology, proved unstoppable. General Vexara made her final stand on her own bridge, surrounded by the most loyal officers in her fleet. She was a warrior born and trained for conquest, and the idea of surrender was impossible for her to accept. "I will not betray everything the Empire represents," she declared as the boarding team reached her position. "The Empire represents survival," Vera Stormleaf replied as she disarmed the general with a movement too fast to follow. "Your people will survive better through cooperation than conquest. The war ended not with destruction, but with choice." General Vexara was captured, but her surviving officers were given the same option that had been offered to their crews: fight to the death for a dying world, or work together to build something better. 6 months later, the Zephyrian homeworld was green again. Sylvani biotechnology had cleaned the poisoned air and restored the damaged soil. Human engineering had built cities that worked in harmony with nature instead of destroying it. Former enemies worked side by side to create something that none of them could have achieved alone. Commander Lisa Morgan stood in a garden that had once been a strip mine and watched Zephyrian children playing among flowers that grew from Sylvani bioseeds. Dr. Rachel Kim was teaching former enemy scientists how to heal worlds instead of strip mining them. President Claire Anderson was negotiating trade agreements that benefited all 3 species. General Vexara remained in custody, but even she had begun to see that cooperation might be stronger than conquest. Her people were healthier and happier than they had been in centuries of endless war. "Earth chose peace," Admiral Turner observed, as she watched the sunset over the restored Zephyrian capital. "But we learned that sometimes peace must be defended with strength." Arya Moonwhisper smiled as she felt the life energy flowing through the healed world. "And we learned that the strongest force in the universe is not weapons or armies. It is the choice to help instead of harm, to build instead of destroy, to forgive instead of seek revenge." The galaxy was at peace again, but it was a different kind of peace. Not the naive hope that everyone wanted the same things, but the hard-won understanding that former enemies could become allies if they were willing to work for it. Earth had chosen peace, and when the enemy had other plans, they had chosen to defend peace with everything they had. In the end, peace had won not through weakness, but through the strength that came from beings who cared more about building a better future than proving who was strongest. The stars shone down on 3 species, who had learned that the universe was big enough for everyone if they were willing to share it.